Hi, welcome to today's stream. So, I'm finally streaming on a Wednesday again. This is going to be a little bit shorter and slightly impromptu-ish. Also earlier, if I can consistently stream at 3 p.m., that'd actually be really nice, because then I could potentially get in a longer stream. But hi, welcome. Welcome on in. So, this is going to be interesting. I decided I want to react to the state of play because cool things could be announced here. There's a chance that nothing cool is announced here from my interest set, but I do know of one announcement for sure. But it's fine, it was one that already leaked yesterday, so if I'm going to be spoiled on something, it being a spoiler I had already seen is arguably better than something I haven't seen. Also, I didn't really let the intro screen sit as long as I usually do, and that's because I'm impatient, and I kind of want to get on with the show to some extent, but I want to give it a little bit of time for chatting a little bit before we get started. I do want to say, if you check below the stream, I have spruced up a lot of the About Me panels and links and all that stuff. I am not going to promote things very much, I say, as there's a giant donation bar in the bottom right. But I'm likely not going to spend too much time promoting donations yet, until I have more concrete plans. I do have a couple of goals listed, but a lot of them are just blank because I'm still brainstorming. I also have a throne. I don't think there's anything on there yet, unless I put something on there and I forgot already. So yeah. All additional support beyond watching is completely optional, of course. I appreciate everyone for just being able to stop by and hang out. But that being said, any additional support would be appreciated. Will be greatly appreciated, but again, completely optional. Again, I'd like to be at least a part-time streamer as like a career of sorts. But that requires a few things, like fixing my sleep schedule, which, hey, today kind of proves I can, sort of. Yeah, if I can consistently stream like 3 to 7, like 4-hour streams, like twice a week, I think that'd be great. But it is a case of trying to work out logistics and also, again, just getting my stuff together. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. While we wait until... I was gonna wait until 3 to start. Again, just give people time to get in here. Frankly, everyone's busy reacting to it on their own in a lot of cases. And plus, I haven't streamed on a Wednesday in a long time, so I'm not... You know... I kind of don't expect high turnouts normally, just because a lot of my friends are very busy, but... I don't know how to talk about this. It's one of those things that I always appreciate when everyone is available and willing to spend time with me, if that makes sense, but I understand that everyone's very busy and so on. I probably shouldn't be rambling about this on this stream, that I'm saying this out loud. Yeah, it's almost time. Don't have an exact estimate, but we'll tab over before too long and then get started. It was actually nice getting up way earlier than I normally do, from the perspective of not carrying out my routine in like nighttime, because where I live, it gets dark very early. So waking up early would also be very nice from the perspective of just having sunlight. As like odd as that might sound. Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty okay today. Again, getting up early definitely was nice. I would like to make this a consistent thing for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Anyway, it's 3, so we'll tab over, pause the music, like so, and we'll tab over to this little stream setup I have. hopefully everything won't break, because sometimes window capture causes frame drops for me. I'm also using a weird setup, so it's like my VTuber is like mirrored from where it usually is. So that is taking a little bit of getting used to. But we do have this setup here. Alright. How the heck do I want to intro this is my only problem, because I might put this on YouTube if there's anything really good, but if it's not, then I don't know. Either way, so there was a state of play today. I woke up late, or got out of bed later than I meant to, but I have mostly dodged spoilers on it. I saw one thing, but it's fine. It was something that was already heavily leaked anyway. So I wanted to do a stream where I react to it, and we'll see how this goes. In the future, a lot of other reactions will probably not be live, just from the perspective of, like, Nintendo Directs are, like, absurdly early in the day nowadays. So, who knows how many of these, like, reaction type streams I'll end up doing. May not be suitable for all audiences. That is something I expect from PlayStation events. Starting with Monster Hunter, I'm not surprised by this whatsoever. I wonder if this is pro footage. Because I know Monster Hunter Wilds, like, doesn't run very good from everything I've heard, so I wouldn't be shocked if this is like on the PS5 Pro. It's actually kind of one of the system sellers for the Pro in a way, just because of how dodgy performance is. My only issue is PlayStation Plus is so expensive that trying to justify PS Plus has always been a challenge, especially even before the price drop. I thought it was hard to justify. It's even harder to justify now, IMO. It's like free games are cool, but I'd rather play on PC for the free online. However, I think Monster Hunter Wilds, while it would not run great on like a 3060. Definitely would not be able to stream this game. It looks okay though. Again, if this is like running on actual PS5, this doesn't look bad. If it's running on Pro, then I would also be curious to see what the PS5 version would look like. I still need to play Rise and World, actually. I have both. Just a matter of trying to organize a group to try to play through those games, because I would like to play them with friends, just because they do seem like better suited for multiplayer. A lot of these trailers end up being like really cool to Monster Hunter fans, because it's like, oh my god, here's this monster that hasn't been around for a really long time. But I'm not familiar enough with Monster Hunter to know if this is like a new monster or like a returning monster. So I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Very Red Knight, like FF14 Red Mage energy to that armor set.
皆さんこんにちは。モンスターハンターワイルズプロデューサーの辻本です。無料タイトルアップデート第1弾の追加モンスターとして玉三つが決定いたしました。この他にもタイトルアップデート第1弾で追加されるコンテンツはまだありますが、詳細は改めてお知らせしたいと思っております。本作は発売後に数回のタイトルアップデートを予定しています。タイトルアップデート計画については
It's interesting seeing how big this series got, because, you know, it started out on the PSP. It wasn't like the biggest thing then. It was really huge in Japan, but took a while to catch on in the West, I feel. That was short. It does make me wonder if there's anything else Capcom here. I'm not really expecting it, to be honest. I'd love Resident Evil news, but I don't think we're getting it today. I'm thinking we're getting it at, like, Summer Games Fest. There's Sega.
Forged to unleash vengeance.
Alright. Oh, this is the thingy they announced, like, years ago at Game Awards, where they announced, like, a bunch of games coming back. Shinobi was one of them. And yeah, I think it was rumored at the time that, like, I think it was Lizard Cube would be making it, as in the Streets of Rage 4 developers. Looks nice though. It's really weird getting like Shinobi back and Ninja Gaiden back at like the same time. Like, why are the odds of getting both around the same, like, both getting revivals? My question is there a release date? Because, I really want to know when all these are coming out, because that was, like, Game Awards 23, I think. Like, I'm really curious about Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, especially. Shinobi's cool, though. I mean, this looks fantastic, to be honest. Again, it's just kind of funny that, like, both series, like, this and Ninja Gaiden are having, like, a major renaissance at the same time. Oh, August 29. That's, interesting. Oh, wait, I did see another leak from this. So I wonder when that'll show up. This is Sonic, yeah. I was gonna say, that was, like, some Green Hill aesthetics there. So I see Jet the Hawk, they're just immediately, you know, getting that out of the way. So yeah, the big rumor about this game, ever since it was announced at the Game Awards, was it'd be like mixed racing styles, essentially. I don't know who's making this game, actually, because it looks like the same with digital racing games, but I don't know if they're actually working on this one. There's like a warp mechanic, that's like Secret Rings, the Dino Jungle. But you're gonna have to like look for eggs. Also, will there be like a story mode to this, given that they are adding in different mechanics like Extreme Gear again? Like, that's my big question is... Oh, that... I mean, they were playing Metal Harbor music. Oh, this is also Secret Rings, I think. It is weird to have Secret Rings acknowledgement in the year 2025. Makes me wonder if they might remaster this game. I'd love a remaster. I know there's a fan project in works, but I'd love to see an official remaster of Secret Rings. Closed network test in a week and a half. I will say it's nice that the state of play has had like 0 downtime. Like, that's been very interesting. I think I know what this is, but I don't remember the name of it.
An apocalypse looms over parallel worlds as their fates begin to intertwine.
I don't know why that city shot just made me think of all the, like, complaints about
journey alongside gods, heroes, and monsters of bygone eras.
I don't think this is the thing I thought it would be.
Known as Digimon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this Digimon? But anyway, I just thought of like what the city shot saw the like angst over like Neo, The World Ends With You about like that ripping off Persona 5 because it was both were set in Shibuya, and it's like, you know, Shibuya's an existing city, but I can never tell with like Persona 5 memes how many are like just memes and how many are like actually serious. Time Stranger, huh? I think I saw a rumor about this, but I don't follow Digimon enough. I want to play like Cyber Sleuth at some point.
大家好，我是《输了之魂》的创作者杨斌。从一名独立开发者到今天与 PlayStation 携手，
I didn't remember this was a solo dev game. I mean, it looks really cool, but I've got that detail, and I'm like, whoa, that's way more impressive now, actually.
充满个性的敌人，同时与有趣的角色互动，逐步揭开精彩的故事。接下来，我非常激动地向大家展示全。
I've seen some gameplay of this, and it looks really good. I'm not into like Souls-like, so I think it's a Souls-like.
I keep having the same dream. A horrible dream. Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being.
This is the game I was thinking of.
And when it seems they might vanquish,
Because this might not be the game I was thinking of, actually.
the dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies with you.
I'm not used to this webcam of mine being mirrored, so I'm like trying to not block things with my ears. Yeah, this isn't the game I was thinking it was. Looks cool though. I don't know what the gameplay is like. Like, is this character action?
Great power within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled.
Okay, was not expecting that.
Let me be your vengeance.
Yeah, what game was I thinking of though? Just like another like Chinese developed action game coming out soonish, and it's like what game am I thinking of? Like, I don't remember the name of it. This sounds like more character action than Souls-like, which I'm always mixed on character action games. This might be a hot take, but I kind of feel like character action games are tiring for me to play. Like, whenever I try to play Bayonetta, I get really tired because I have to dedicate so much focus to, like, playing well. I obsess about rankings to the point of, like, I kind of just lose stamina really quickly. Damn, that's like 3 months. It's always impressive when games are like, yeah, it's coming out in like a couple months.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Benson. We've got several updates today from partners around the world, starting with news from the Like a Dragon series.
Oh.
First up, a playable demo of Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii arrives on PS5 this Friday.
So tomorrow.
Players could try out 2 battle styles, including Goro Majiba's new Sea Dog style, as well as engage in naval battles at the Pirates Coliseum.
Someday I will play this series. I have started Zero like 3 times and not finished it.
Sega and Mint Rocket joined forces in Ichiban's Holiday, a new crossover DLC coming to Dave the Diver. Ichiban Kasuga and other Like a Dragon characters team up to thwart a gang of troublemakers in classic beat-em-up style, all while perfecting new recipes at Bancho Sushi. Dave the Diver Ichiban's Holiday arrives this April on PS5 and PS4. The Splitgate 2 alpha begins February 27th on PS5.
I remember playing Splitgate. I had a good time with it. But I'm also really bad at Halo likes, apparently. I've never played actual Halo that much, just a little bit of Combat Evolved. It's on the list for like game clearing. For me, because it's like, yeah, I should play Halo someday.
My name is Paul Heyman. I'm here to give you an exclusive first look in the future of the WWE 2K franchise. Introducing the Island. With the Island, players enter an online environment filled with WWE-themed landmarks, quests, live events, and shops with up to 50 other players at a time. The Island also offers deep customization, giving players
the one
the chance
issue with being a
to
VTuber is you can tell when I'm checking out.
like never before. As the first of its kind for the franchise, the Island is not just an addition, it's a bold step toward the future.
It's like I'm actively not entirely paying attention to what is happening, because I'm not into wrestling. I'm trying to remember, didn't like the recent WWE games also turn out really badly or something? Like really broken or something? Or am I thinking of something else? Oh.
Sup? I'm Randy from Gearbox. And I'm Randy from Gearbox. And you know why we're here? We're here for you.
Another, I'm looking at my phone part of this event because I don't really like Borderlands. I'm trying to play Borderlands, but it was on Vita. Like, not even kidding. I came with my Vita, so I played it a little bit. I actually got pretty far into it, like probably like a fourth of the way through. I don't know if any of this music is copyright free, by the way. So yeah, this is the problem with these events, is they always have copyrighted music, it feels like, and I wish I knew what was copyrighted or not. so I could know if I should eat or not, but I don't know if this is like specific for the game. Yeah, like this is definitely Borderlands. I always hear really like mixed things about Borderlands 3 and a little bit about pre-sequel also. 2 seems like the really popular one, so it's one of those games where it's like maybe I'll try to give Borderlands another shot not on Vita, and maybe I'll have a better time with it. But yeah, I don't really have the best. Wow, that's
So badass,
this year.
so much fun. I want more. We don't have to wait long now. Borderlands 4 is going to break free for a special state of play this spring, focused exclusively on Borderlands 4. We're diving deep, you guys.
Well,
Borderlands 4 state of play,
I
combat,
will probably not be reacting to that one.
discovery, everything. You're gonna see more guns than you can even count. All on PlayStation 5, but Randy, do you have anything else for us? I think I do, Randy.
Oh.
What is it? Don't hold out on me, Randy. I'll feed you, baby bird. Who wants a launch date for Borderlands 4? This Randy. Well, Borderlands 4 launches worldwide for everyone.
Do a trailer that has a 2025 release date and then just immediately announce the release date like a minute later? I don't quite understand the logic of that, personally.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I really don't do small talk. Nice to meet you too.
I mean, I always hear really good things about It Takes Two and A Way Out, so...
How are we supposed to get out of here if we don't start to trust each other? I don't need your trust. Well, I kind of need yours.
The issue is with their games is they're always co-op only. Which is like interesting to have like a game that's completely co-op based.
Look at all of this. It's amazing.
So I'm sure this game's gonna be really good. It's just like,
Right, this silly story.
I don't know if I'll end up playing this place out because I still need to play the other two at some point.
Follow my lead. Are you for real, Zoe? I wrote it when I was a kid. What sort of double child were you?
I feel like
What now?
it's a very different energy, and again, all the games are like the same basic idea. I mean, like when you start with Brother, A Tale of Two Sons and go to like It Takes Two, or no, A Way Out, then It Takes Two, then this. It's like they all are like, oh, let's make a story-driven game about like co-op, and then let's just make it. Damn, that's really soon. I don't know if that was previously announced because that feels really close. So Supermassive. Interesting. I feel like Supermassive Games is also a very interesting company.
Looks like it penetrated through there.
One of my like very specific pieces of knowledge is that they actually started out like one of the early games was a PS3 Doc 2 like 2D side scroller. It was a game that I regret never buying because it got delisted. Not that I have a PS3 or Vita anymore, but still, I kind of regret not owning that game as a Doc 2 fan.
What is that? This ship is infected with an alien organism.
It still doesn't feel real sometimes.
Never forget why you started.
Ow.
Lord have mercy.
I've seen like parts of Until Dawn. I've seen most of the Quarry, and like they seem entertaining. I don't know if I'd ever play them, just because of my gore tolerance. But watching other people play them, it's very interesting. I'm also wondering if this is like based on something, or if it's like an original IP.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
But again, interesting branching out into sci-fi horror. Again, very different direction from the other games. If anything, I have to give this event credit for like having a lot of games that are coming out pretty soon. Like, you know, October's a ways off, but
So let me explain the situation. One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property.
FNAF. I've never played a FNAF. I'm not sure if I would be into that kind of horror.
Technology that he was developing for
very like jump scare heavy kind of game. It's like it's always fascinating to see how much FNAF has grown as a series. Like, I mean, the movie, for one thing.
We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident. But just in case, we suggest you get your affairs in order before arriving.
I just remember when FNAF was just like, oh, you're in an office looking at screens and trying to like close doors and turn off lights in time, and now they're like full 3D adventures. Again, that's really soon for a game that I didn't know previously. Yeah.
We're the creators
Oh.
of the Midnight Walk. Cozy horror game created entirely in
There's a lot of horror, it feels like, all in a row right now.
Terrors that want to devour you and your little lantern creature.
I'm looking at those character designs, I'm like, this feels like another game where I'm probably gonna be looking at my phone quite a bit.
We've handcrafted for you. So please enjoy this short gameplay preview.
So hi. How's it going? Hope everything's going okay, as I'm not looking at what's happening on screen. Cause I have a feeling I do not want to see what's going to happen. There's another game I'm like fully expecting to be here, and that's Death Stranding. That is another one where it's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to be looking at the screen at all during Death Stranding, just because I cannot handle that game. I mean, the slight stop motion look of this is neat. You know, while this game is extraordinarily not for me, it's like, it's kind of impressive that like when games do something very unique with the medium, and this definitely feels like a case in that, but again, God, this is not something I want to play. Hi Esper, welcome on in. This has been a not, like, outstanding state of play for me, but partly just because my interests are diverging from PlayStation quite a bit this generation. And gaming in general, I feel like I'm just kind of falling out of gaming from where I was at.
Special thanks
Oh, VR, God no. Hell no to that. That was scary enough regularly.
Quirky new adventure from Konami.
Huh.
In Darwin's Paradox, you play as
Konami,
Darwin,
huh?
a clever octopus who finds himself dumped near a highly suspicious food processing center.
The recent arc of Konami has been very interesting, to be honest. Like, going from not really making games and just focusing on, like, pachinko to, like, actually making a lot of games. Damn, that was a short trailer. Okay, I don't know if that was previously announced.
We're excited to reveal a brand new title from Koei Tecmo Games and Omega Force. Warriors Abyss, a roguelite spin on the
They just
Warriors
released
franchise.
Origins. When did they have time for this? I swear, Koei Tecmo's output is, like, absurd. Because you have, like, the Atelier series almost on, like, a yearly basis. You have, like, Warriors games constantly coming out. You have, like, you know, Romancing of the Three Kingdoms from time to time. I mean, I'm into Dynasty Warriors, so I'd be curious.
A roguelite hell awaits when Warriors Abyss launches
Oh, it's
on
available
PS5
today.
and
Neat.
PS4 later today.
I'll have to look into that.
For whom are you working?
Onimusha.
I won't forgive you. Prepare yourself.
A PS2 era classic returns with Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny.
You're both surprised and not surprised at the same time. Yeah, it feels like an untapped market. Also, here's something interesting. Onimusha Remastered 1 was like 6 years ago. It was 2019. And everyone had been clamoring for it for like 6 years and had kind of given up hope. So like, this finally getting remastered partly because they wanted to announce it with the new game. Like, neat. Again, not sure if it's for me, but I know this is a huge, this has a huge following.
2026. Let's check out a new trailer for Capcom's
Oh, hey, speaking of Onimusha.
Orimusha, Way of the Sword.
This also undercuts Capcom's own event last week where they just had to show the old trailer. It's like always weird how these brand deals work out to announce things, because it's like you can't show their own trailer because it's already been booked for the PlayStation event. It said caption on PC, which is not surprising. So I guess we get to finally see gameplay, or maybe more of a slice of gameplay, because the previous time it's like, it was kind of hard to gauge how it actually plays. This is an RE engine-ass game, if I've ever seen one. It's basically RE with Samurai, like fixed camera angles, tank controls, but like melee focused. It's always been something that's kind of interesting to me, but I've never gotten around to any of them. I think like one is on sale at the moment. Oh, this is just straight up Musashi, I guess. Alright. Oh, that's cool. I'm genuinely having a hard time gauging how this game plays. Like, how it controls, basically. Because, like, with the parrying, I almost am getting, like, Arkham energy from this, like Batman Arkham. But I have no clue if that's, you know, on target or not. Again, kind of Souls-ish, too. That was very brief, but it's a 2026 game, so I'm not shocked. I had $1 for every time a Capcom game had a talking arm. I'd have $2 now. I might have more, I don't know if that's the thing in the old Onimishas. There's a Snake Eater. I've seen this trailer already, it's a fun story. PlayStation themselves leaked this trailer. So that's fun.
America is out to destroy the Shagohod and get its hands on your inheritance.
I don't know how to describe this, but like, I swear modern Konami trailers for Metal Gear especially feel so like sauceless. Because I feel like Kojima would always just edit things in a very like esoteric way. Well, like, this is just a very straightforward trailer for the game that kind of lacks like any flair to it, and also just spoils a lot of the game too. Like, oh, let's just spoil every boss. And, like, parts of the ending. Not the ending, but, like, second to last boss.
A great and terrible fury at being alive. A host of sorrows.
I'm intrigued. I'm wondering how this is turning out, because this is kind of, like, very ambitious, but it's also very faithful to the original. It almost feels a little uncanny, though, kind of in the same way as other remasters of the style, because it's like, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, it's like you're taking the old game as a framework and then slapping better graphics on it. I know Ninja Gaiden 2 did that as well, and sometimes it can cause like things to look a little uncanny, because this is still like 2005 motion capture being repurposed, but just with the UE5 graphics on top of it. It's very comparable to Ninja Gaiden 2. This would have been a cool reveal if Sony themselves accidentally didn't spoil this. But Snake vs. Monkey is back. I wonder if, like, the other bonus stuff, like... No, the skateboarding wasn't 2. Because that was Big Shell. No idea what this is.
When the fury of emotions sparks the wildfire of violence, it dissolves our illusions and exposes the fragile structure.
And my setup is slightly different this time, so I'm trying to figure out how to move my model where I want it to move.
When did you come back? I stood in the home I was born in.
Oh, this is Death. Is this Death Stranding? Because there's a very huge irony in putting these two trailers back to back, potentially. But I don't know if this is Death Stranding. I don't think it is, actually.
hatred and lots of it. Impossible. It's you. You must continue.
Yeah, I have no clue what this is. Like an action game. Okay, but what's the name of it? Oh. There it is. Yeah, a lot of these are just like a big nope for me, because I don't handle that kind of style of game very well. Oh, Liza P. I always heard really good things about this. You know, as far as like Bloodborne and Souls-likes, I was always intrigued by this game.
Winter all of a sudden.
I'm sorry.
DLC was already known to be a thing, so this isn't like a huge shocker.
Stalker worthy of the name. It's been far, far too long.
You get to pet a cat. Okay, this is automatically like the best game shown so far.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
But you also have the interesting dynamic of like Bloodborne, because everyone's just really sick of waiting for Sony to do something with this IP. So everyone's just like, okay, we have Bloodborne at home, but like Liza P was the first actually really successful attempt at making a spiritual successor to Bloodborne. It's 10 years old this year. I haven't played it. It's like a meme that Bloodborne's like this trans game, kind of like Fallout New Vegas and some others. I don't know why. This looks cool. Again, Liza P itself looked really cool though. Base game acquired, so it is DLC. Summer. But like a small Korean studio, it's like, that's a decent turnaround. What is this? I actually don't know how small the studio would be for Liza P. Interesting.
Where do you think doors have eyes?
I'm very intrigued by this.
We don't know where our children will put their roots.
Like, this is a lot to take in. But I'm kind of here for it, actually. Yeah, I'm intrigued. That seems really interesting. Pixel Chunk. That name sounds really familiar.
皆さんこんにちは。Q ゲームスのクリエイティブディレクターのバイオンです。私の最新作ドリームオブサナザーはいかがだったでしょうか。破壊なくして想像はないというテーマのもと、ドリームオブサナザーではシューティングゲームの常識を覆す体験ができます。武器で傷つけたり破壊するのではなく、抽象化している散らばった世界を具体化して想像することができるのです。本作ではポイントクラウドというテクノロジーを採用し、
Just the art style is really cool too.
ダイナミックな変化を与えることができます。
Like how everything's kind of fragmented a little bit.
本日からウィッシュリストへの追加ができます。ありがとうございました。
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen Zatani, and I'm excited to share even more PlayStation news in today's show.
This has been rumored for last State of Play last year.
Open world epic comes to PS5 with VRR support and PS5 Pro support.
This isn't my kind of
It also
game.
includes added
Oh.
content like permadeath and speedrun
That's kinda
modes,
neat.
an enhanced photo mode, new accessibility features,
But I
and
kinda feel
Horde
like
Assault, a
accessibility is
survival
really
arcade mode
nice.
with increased horde sizes that will provide a fresh way to experience Days Gone.
But I also kind of feel like this is a game that doesn't. Oh.
You can upgrade to a digital version of Days Gone Remastered.
Well, that's nice at least when they do that. I'm really hoping Nintendo does something like this, or at least, or even just makes patches free, because I really wish certain games would get enhancements.
New DLC is coming to Stellar Blade this June. The sci-fi action game is partnering with Goddess of Victory Nike on a new boss battle, collectible
That checks out. That is like that is a crossover that just makes sense. It's leaning into its popularity, I see.
Of Stellar Blade launch this June. We've got some great PlayStation Plus updates today, starting with game catalog titles arriving on February 18th. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Top Spin 2K25.
I don't know what the knocking is next door. I don't know if that's coming through.
Blue and Rage, from the creators of Life is Strange.
That's why I've heard nothing about that game. Never mind.
In this episodic adventure, players will join 4 high school girls living through the defining summer of their lives.
So yeah, this is Don't Nod, and then Deck 9 makes Life is Strange now. I heard the last Life is Strange is like wild, where it's like
the first episode of Lost
loses a lot of goodwill from the previous games, basically.
The second episode arriving in April.
Episodic still is interesting.
We're also excited to confirm 2 unique indie titles that will launch into game catalog later this year. Explore a mysterious mansion and blueprints, a genre-bending architectural.
I also wonder if they'll announce the classics for this month, because I'm still not waiting for certain classics to show up. Again, I'm glad that they finally have a working PS2 emulator that doesn't cause a seizure. But the PS2 drops are very slow. It's a little bit more justifiable than like Nintendo though, where they don't have any reason to drop like Game Boy Color games as slowly as they do.
Abiotic Factor is a 6-player survival crafting game from Playstack and Deep Field Games. Stranded miles beneath the surface, you and a team of scientists must craft ingenious.
Again, I like the vibe of this game. It's very like 6th gen.
Complex your new home.
You know, kind of Half-Life looking, but like Half-Life aesthetic is affectionate because it's like nostalgic that we're getting games that are like this now.
Coming soon are the first 3 Armored Core titles from the original PlayStation. Armored Core
with button remapping would be very nice, because I hear those games aren't the best. Yeah, and Patapon 3 leaked recently. That's it, huh? Normally they drop like 2, so I wonder if there's anything beyond Patapon, or...
everything from the past. Only I was left.
I wonder if I know what game this is. I may know what game this is, I may not.
It's the aura of the Grail pieces. I can sense it. As long as it is reforged.
Because there was like an RPG coming out soon, and I'm trying to remember the name of it.
But wishes come at a price.
To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
I mean, thinking of Claire Obscure. I don't know if that's what this is, because I haven't really seen trailers of that game. This doesn't look like an RPG though, so I'm pretty sure it's something else. I'm into it though, like the vibe is really cool. Character action.
Holy Grail. Blood. This is a feast only for the king.
It does feel like there's a void for character action, because like Bayonetta is kind of dormant, and DMC is also kind of dormant. Can never hear the name Gwendolyn again the same way.
My quarrel lies not with you, but I would.
Yeah, no, I'm vibing with this. Hell yeah.
Even if the price is.
I feel like my problem with doing reactions like this is there's very little that'll give me like pop off. Tides of Annihilation, that actually looks very interesting. Like my reactions are very muted. If I was like doing a reaction to like the direct where Thousand Year Door remake got announced, that would have been like more of a pop off, but Otherwise, I feel like I have very immediate reactions. It's like, oh, that's cool. And that's kind of the extent of it.
How do you feel?
I really don't need them to keep panning at the bloody face. Not gonna lie. I could do without that.
Of Vulcan. You must retrieve the Architect's core.
You know, I don't know how to explain it, but there's been so much like sci-fi horror kind of games this time, and this has been a problem for a lot of shows. I know the Game Awards in like 22 had this problem, but it almost makes it harder to remember what's actually been shown, because so many of the games kind of hit the same like aesthetic sometimes.
I remember you.
Again, that's really soon. I don't know if that was already announced or not.
My memory's still a bit blurry. Remember this.
DS! Showtime!
I have these gaps inside my head.
Sound like it's a 10-minute window.
Like, this is just... like, nothing in the show... like... I do enjoy watching these just because, you know, seeing what's coming out. And there are some games that are kind of, you know, up my alley, but... a lot of times when I see events like this, it just kind of reminds me of, like... my gaming tastes are very, like, specific. And PlayStation has not been tapping into that audience. The only game that does is Astrobot. But even then, I'm fairly versatile. Like, I can be pretty easygoing with games. Like, I can get into, like, Uncharted. I can get into, like, you know... trying to think of anything sci-fi that I really like, but nothing is coming to mind. And what sci-fi games do I like? I'm trying to think. I'm looking over at my shelf and I can't think of any good examples. But it's like, genre-wise, I can branch out with games quite a bit. But just like, a lot of these are just like FPS or third-person shooter type games, and I don't dislike those.
I'm Leslie Benzies, director of Mind's Eye, Builder Rocket Boy's new action-adventure set in the fictional city of Red Rock, where AI and human greed collide to bring Earth to the precipice of collapse. All captured on PlayStation.
No comment.
We're now proud to share some gameplay footage with the explosive combat and high-octane driving that you can expect on PlayStation 5 later this year.
It's like they showed a trailer, now they're showing like a second trailer, it feels like. You know, this I think is also going to create a unique dynamic. I think, did they say this was captured on Pro? Because this does create the issue of like, what will this look like on base PS5? Or like Series S, if it's on Xbox? Oh, I know, Perfect Dark, that's a good example. I'm not like super into Perfect Dark just because I feel like the mission system is very unforgiving in that. But like, in terms of aesthetic, I do really like Perfect Dark. So like that kind of sci-fi, you know, first person shooter, it's like, I'm not opposed to that. However, it just kind of feels like we have such an overabundance of like first person shooters now. Or third person. Well, we got a first party game. What if I want to build a bear instead? Mood. Oh. Wait, it said PlayStation Studios. I have no clue what this is. I don't know why I'm getting this excited. Because it's probably still not going to be something I'm super into.
This world. This moment. This choice.
Like, this could just be Helldivers. You know, nothing against Helldivers, mind you, but it's not a game I play.
Every time the sun dies, madness reigns.
This has actually been a complaint that comes up a lot lately with different types of conglomerations. Nintendo gets the same complaint a lot, and I've seen it with PlayStation 2, where like, is this Returnal? Like, is this like a Returnal 2 or something? Because the description of always coming back is giving big Returnal energy. Oh. My guess was incorrect. Returnal's a game I hear really good things about but never have played myself. Oh, it's Housemarque. Okay. So kind of. Wow, there was like, I don't think there was gameplay in that.
Hey everyone, I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. We are thrilled to announce that our latest game, Saros, is launching next year on PS5 and enhanced for PS5 Pro. Saros is the ultimate evolution of the Housemarque gameplay-first experience. It's a new single-player IP that builds on Returnal's award-winning third-person action.
I feel like the way they need to emphasize single player now is very telling.
Arjun is a powerful enforcer searching for answers on a hostile shape-shifting planet haunted by an ominous eclipse.
It's a roguelike, basically.
All of us at Housemarque can't wait to share more about Saros.
It's a neat way to do like a Returnal 2, but not have it just be Returnal 2 again. Kind of like Supergiant. A lot of games hit similar beats, but are just aesthetically very different from each other. Wait, was that it? Oh, that was it. Oh. That genuinely caught me off guard that that was the end of this event. Goddamn. Wow, okay. I have like nothing to say about that event. Damn. Like, I kind of didn't have high expectations just because I haven't been like vibing with a lot of PlayStation's lineup lately anyway. But I didn't really get much out of that, to be honest, like to be completely blunt. That was a lot of stuff that did not really vibe with me. I'm processing everything that was shown. And the most exciting game for me personally would probably be Sonic. That's not a surprise, because I like Sonic games, but... Huh. Again, there was some cool stuff there. Again, it was a Tides of Annihilation that looked really cool. Onimusha's probably gonna be good. A lot of the indie stuff looked kind of neat. But again, there was a lot of horror and a lot of sci-fi. And it's just kind of like running together in my mind how much sci-fi horror there was, and also just third-person shooter. Damn, okay, not even Death Stranding, because I guess they're doing the South by Southwest panel in a month. So Death Stranding isn't even there. See, this feels kind of anticlimactic, because I'm like, oh yeah, reacting, and then I'm like, wow, I don't feel strongly about, like, anything shown off. Oh, Liza P getting DLC is cool, but not, like, super impressive to me, because I still haven't played the game. Yeah, everything feels very muted on this game, or on this event. Everyone's just kind of like, damn. Not sure what's the state of play. This was a state of play of all time. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, Digimon is cool. Digimon is very neat. That it's still trucking along. And yeah, I'm seeing other talk of like, damn, that just kind of ended. Like, that was very sudden. Normally they do like, oh, we have one more announcement kind of a thing, a lead up. Now this time they just drop up their big teaser, which is Housemarque's new game. And that's kind of it. Which is weird, because there's other stuff that was rumored. Like, the big thing is, I want to say someone at, like, SNK was tweeting about the state of play, so everyone thought we'd get a City of the Wolves character reveal. So, like, there kind of wasn't anything real, to that. I'm seeing all the breakdowns of stuff from the, Sonic trailer, and apparently a lot of, like, characters were spotted. Sage, Cream, Charmy, characters who hadn't really been in the All-Stars games. I still don't know who's making it, is the question, because I don't know if it's Sumo Digital. So I thought they got bought by someone. Anyway, this was kind of an anticlimactic stream, but I kind of had a feeling it would be. Not the most riveting. Yeah, it kind of got, like, worse as it went along. Okay, this is something I feel very strongly. Nintendo Directs have a certain pacing rhythm where they start with something, like, relatively big usually, and then they kind of lull in the middle and then pick back up at the end. They have, like, one more thing at the end that's, like, really cool. And, you know, Returnal's, like, Game of the Year when it came out, so I'm sure this new game is going to be really good. It's just... it didn't quite hit right for me. I think it was just because there was a CGI trailer. So, like, ending on a CGI trailer, it's like Metroid Dread and Prime 4 both excelled at this, where they show, like, the big CGI, like, cutscene, and then it cuts to gameplay. So, like, there was, like, no gameplay for that game. And it's like, I can assume it plays like Returnal by proxy of it being... oh shit, Shinobi. I almost said Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, Shinobi. That was kind of neat. But again, that was like the... no... not Final Fight. Was it Streets of Rage that there was gonna be like a 3D beat 'em up for? I don't remember. But like, of the Sega revivals, Shinobi's not one I was like super excited for. I was mostly looking for the Crazy Taxi and Jet Set, and even that's kind of vicariously living through other people. I know other people who are really into Jet Set, so I really hope that game's good. But well, damn. That was kind of a whimper. I mean, if there's like a Nintendo Direct this month, because there's usually one in February, I might react to that. I will not be doing a, you know, unspoiled reaction, because they're usually they've been at like 6 a.m. nowadays, so I'm not gonna stay offline that long. And then the Switch 2 event or Direct in April, I'm definitely not reacting unspoiled to that, because again, everybody's like staying offline until like, you know, between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's like, that's too long. And yeah, everyone hyped themselves up that Bloodborne would be announced here, because it's like the 10th anniversary, and then like all of the Bloodborne fan projects have been getting like DMCA'd recently. So yeah, everyone just gotta convince themselves that we were getting Bloodborne. And yeah, I'm seeing stuff about like, yeah, you know, Returnal's great, but they're just kind of riding off of like name recognition. They should have shown the Housemarque logo at the beginning, because you know, I figured out by the end, oh, this is probably Housemarque, because this is giving real Returnal energy. I don't know if Returnal has, like, any kind of recognition to be, like, a name. And not even making it like Returnal 2, it's like a new IP, but with Returnal, like, time loop mechanics. Oh yeah, the Octopus game, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Shinobi looks cool. Monster Hunter, again, I just need to play World and Rise. Sonic looks neat. I hope it's better than Team Sonic Racing in terms of, like, net play and everything like that. Yakuza looks cool. It's neat that it's getting a demo in 2 days. The problem is I'm 10 games behind at this point, because what's there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... or like a dragon, Infinite Wealth, Gaiden. If I want to be really cheeky, there's like the Samurai one, and then there's, if I want to be even cheekier, there's like Dead Souls and then the other Samurai one, which I don't think have gotten remasters yet. So yeah, like, damn, if there is a Nintendo Direct, I'm not expecting much from that either. I'm expecting a partner Direct, like, next week, at best, basically. I'm not expecting anything major first party. I think they'll just keep tweeting out stuff until April. Like what they did with Xenoblade X. Yeah, looking at screenshots, Sonic looks really good. I was trying to figure out if the battleship was Outrun or supposed, because they're playing like Metal Harbor, I'm pretty sure, in the background. So I'm getting the energy that this might be a crossover game, just paired back from like All-Stars Racing transformed. Extreme Gear back. The inherent problem I find is there's probably gonna be a meta. So like, what will be the meta for this game? Just as Sega. They do not say anything. It's also weird having the rings as like warps, because that's like a movie thing. So like, I wonder if they're gonna have like a movie Sonic element to this. Yeah, they're not saying it's like Sumo Digital or anyone else. They're just saying Sega. The PlayStation blog says King Dodonpa is putting the finishing touches on the competition now, but PS5 players can sign up for the closed network test. See, that's interesting to me, because that implies, one, Dodonpa's back from TSR, and I wonder if there'll be a story, and if so, like, what it'll be, because this will potentially be the fourth, like, All-Stars game and the fourth Riders game, so there's a lot of potential for story here. And again, like, the worlds shown off are like, they put a heavy emphasis on Secret Rings aesthetic, but Dino Jungle, and then the pirate ship is very Secret Rings. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that. That was just kind of a whimper of an event, not gonna lie. I know there was a lot of like hopes of like, oh, will we see Kingdom Hearts? Will we see Pi Silk Song came up? I don't know if anyone actually was hoping for Silk Song. I'm sure someone was out there in the world. Like, damn, like, really didn't hit right for me. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my passion for gaming, and then like I look on Twitter, not Twitter, like Blue Sky and other places, and then everyone's like, damn, there was like nothing for me in that, and it's like, oh, okay, so I feel slightly better. It's not just me being very insular and in a bubble of what I like, it's just genuinely kind of like lukewarm. The other big question I have, and I'm seeing stuff pointing this out too, is, I mean, Insomniac leak stuff, so without going into too many details, there's been a lot of, like, speculation of where the hell did the Wolverine game go? Like, the director left recently to work on Perfect Dark's reboot. So, like, what is happening with that game with so many people leaving Insomniac? Like, the literal head of Insomniac left recently. I mean, that was rumored to be a 2026 game also. But also, where's Ghost of Yote? That's supposed to be this year. And, you know, Days Gone also doesn't really hit, in my opinion, just because it's like, damn, this is a remaster of a game that already just kind of didn't hit at the time, and I don't think it's going to hit any better now. Is this who I think it is? I'm seeing people say that for that Tides of Annihilation game. Apparently one of the voices is Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate. Again, and other people I'm seeing are like, I thought it was Claire Obscura, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. Seems to be a new game. Neat. Again, that game definitely was interesting. Well, they make Balatro 1 just, like, was like a small studio, right? So I mean, there's plenty of indie games. Like, there's a Mahjong themed Balatro, there's a chess themed Balatro. Again, it technically exists in terms of spiritual successors. There's the Roguelite Warriors game. No reviews yet. $25, damn. Interesting. Again, when does Koei Tecmo have time for this? Because I swear they're constantly releasing games, like... Oh, okay, this is interesting. There is... an Xbox version of the trailer that gets rid of the final part for Delta and teases Bomberman instead of Ape Escape for MGS. So I assume Steam will be the same way. And, you know, Steam modders are gonna fix that problem very quickly and have both probably, but very interesting actually to potentially have like Snake versus Monkey, but just with Bomberman instead as a workaround. But yeah, not gonna lie, that really didn't feel great. And like, okay, the thing is, I was talking about this earlier, if we got a Nintendo Direct this month, it'll probably be a partner Direct if I had to throw out a guess. And it probably will just be kind of whatever, it'll be kind of ho-hum. You know, the last one was kind of carried by CBS 2 hype, I feel. However, I get it. I literally don't expect anything from a Switch Direct at this late, and we're 8 years in. But like, the PlayStation still doesn't feel like it's hit a stride. That's my biggest problem at the moment. Like, if you have, like, take the PS3, for example. The PS3 had a kind of rough launch. You had a year one Ratchet & Clank, which, that sounds familiar. Beyond, like, Tools of Destruction and, like, Uncharted, there wasn't, like, a ton of, like, big games. 2008 brought, like, Little Big Planet, and then MGS4 as an exclusive. And then 2009 was when things started turning around, because 2009 had the price drop down all the way to 300 because they gutted the back compatibility and made the slim. However, PlayStation consoles kind of feel like they do take a couple years to really like hit a stride, partly because games take a long time to make. So like PS4 didn't feel like it hit right away. Again, coincidentally, Bloodborne would have been like 2 or 3 years in, and that definitely was one of those must-own kind of games. But PS5 has not had that like moment yet, I feel. Again, even as someone who likes Rift Apart, I don't think it quite hit right as like a genre, not genre, but a console-defining game. I feel like they're still waiting for that console-defining game. So yeah, it's a case of like, okay, I expect this from PlayStation to take a little bit to get going, essentially. Like, a little bit of time to get momentum. However, I just keep feeling like we aren't going to get that moment for PS5 where it's like, oh yeah, it's finally worth like getting a PS5 because we have this really big game on it. And it's like, even as someone who doesn't like PC gaming, so if I'm gonna play like Spider-Man, it will be on Spider-Man or be on PS5. It's not gonna be on PC. Plus the PC version's broken at the moment from what I gather. Lots of crashing. So I don't mind using the PS5 for things. I like using it for things. However, it does feel like the least justified existence of a PlayStation of owning a PlayStation console that I've ever had, because as much as I do like my PS5, it is a case of I'm really not using it for anything exclusive. I'm just using it for things I could also play on PC if I didn't worry about like PC specs. Yeah, another question. What's the original trailer for this game, for Sonic? It does list Switch, so I don't know how Crossworlds is gonna run on Switch. With all the like warps and stuff. That's a lot to like load into memory, potentially if there's like 2 divergent rings. That's kind of the gimmick it looks like. The game you use your PS5 most for is Fortnite. I use my Xbox for Fortnite. Mostly just because I get like Xbox rewards points and then just buy V-Bucks with those. Like genuinely, that is why I tend to veer more towards using Xbox for Fortnite. Plus I don't like the DualSense. I don't like the symmetrical analog sticks for third-person shooters. It actually hurts my thumb. Like I really screwed up my thumb actually trying to play Rivals that way. So I'm mostly trying to use an Xbox controller. But yeah, I don't have good opinions on this particular state of play. This, as someone who doesn't really vibe with state of plays usually, this one is pretty lacking for me personally, which is a bummer to say, because I was really hoping they would knock it out of the park. I never want an event to be shit, to be blunt. It's like, I almost feel like people just kind of thrive off games being disappointing so they can lord over that, like, oh, well, my 40-minute company's live stream is better than your 40-minute company live stream. But yeah, I genuinely want to see good stuff from everybody. I want to see good stuff from this industry. I don't care if it's like PlayStation or Xbox, you know, as long as games are being announced that like hit a certain way, not just for me, because I know that's a problem for me also, where it's like a lot of people saw MVC2, well, the collection in general, but specifically everyone popped off for Marvel 2, it feels like. But a lot of the pop-offs over Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, whatever the name of it is. There was a lot of comments like, I don't get it, and it's like, why are people like losing it over these like 20-year-old games? It's like, because these games are like important parts of people's like formative years. And even as someone who's only played UMVC 3, not that dedicated, but just like in passing, I've played it a bit, and I enjoy it enough, but it's a little bit of sensory overload for me actually with how much is happening in MVC3. I'm also gonna invert the mirror motion while I'm thinking about it so I don't forget for next time. It's one of those games where even if I'm not like over the moon over something, and if I see someone who is over the moon for that, then that brings joy. That brings joy to me, that brings joy to other people, it brings joy to people who can relate to that, and also to people who can't relate to that. Because just because I'm not feeling something doesn't mean no one is. So yeah, that's kind of my complicated feelings on that state of play. I didn't really vibe with it. I wasn't really expecting it to click with me, but I was really hoping it would, because I really feel like Sony has been a weird rut. Again, all the rumors of them having to like can a bunch of live service stuff just because that whole bubble's bursting, basically. I mean, we just had Multiverses have its closure announced, and so everything's kind of going to shit with that. So I do feel like Astrobot also makes a very big statement on like, oh, you have like, what am I trying to say? You have like a big single player game, but it's not even full price. It's like $60 instead of $70. It's like a budget title, quote unquote, that just made a huge splash because it felt like a labor of love. You could tell love and passion was poured into this. It wasn't like a bunch of executives like cramming microtransactions into this game and just trying to squeeze as much money out of its audience as possible. It didn't feel like it was, I don't know, obligatory in a way that a lot of games kind of feel nowadays. Like even like a lot of Mario games feel a bit obligatory, like, oh, we have to have a Mario golf game, we have to have a Mario tennis game, and so these games generally feel like they have less love put into them because there's a certain like obligatory feeling to them. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but either way, Astrobot was a big deal, and everyone's like hoping, I hope they learn a lesson from Astrobot, but the inherent problem with that is, oh yeah, games take forever to make nowadays, so even if they learn the right lessons from Astrobot, which is also a big if, because their solution could instead be, let's just cram cameos and nostalgia into every game, and not like understand it was the love and care poured into the game that made Astrobot shine, not just inherently having a crap ton of cameos. Yeah, assuming PlayStation even learns the right lesson, it'll be like 3 or 4 years before we see any result of that. PS6 might be out by the time we start to see like tangible improvements to like PlayStation's ethos, basically, for developing games. And that is like kind of upsetting that they just squandered this whole generation chasing live service and like all this like trendy stuff, you know, hero shooters that are like, yeah, everyone just kind of stopped being invested in hero shooters after a certain point. And then Rivals, I feel like, is writing off like name recognition. As much as I do think is a okay game, it does, in my opinion, write off of name recognition quite a bit. So yeah, I'm just like parsing my feelings on that state of play, and they're overall not great, if I'm being honest. Partly just because it kind of paints every state of play this generation, even the ones that have had games I've really liked to see, it paints a picture of an industry that I don't like. And that's my overall feeling on State of Plays, is they represent the slow, not death, that's over dramatic, but like slow shift away from what I like about video games. And I'm sure other people feel the same way, but also a lot of people still enjoy the games that I don't. And that's totally cool. But it is a case of like, I miss having that passion. I miss seeing like a ton of really good games from like all the companies. Again, even if I didn't have an Xbox in like 2012, 2013, I still liked hearing about like, you know, Sunset Overdrive was well liked, even if it barely broke even. It broke even by like $50 or something, according to the Insomniac leak. You know, stuff like the turnaround of Halo Master Chief Collection. That was a really cool story, because that launched in a really bad state. What else? Like, Rare Replay, that's a really good example, where it's like, you have these games that are on Xbox that are like, yeah, I don't have an Xbox, but I'm really glad this exists. And like, if I didn't have a PlayStation that generation, I would still be like, oh, I'm glad, you know. I'm trying to think of a PlayStation 4 exclusive that I'm really into, like Horizon Zero Dawn, I guess is a good example. If you see me, like, breaking my neck like that, it's because I'm looking behind me at my shelf of PS4 games. So yeah, if that looks very disconcerting, I do apologize, but that is what I'm doing. But like the Vita is a good example. Like, do I recommend owning a Vita? Not really, unless you're using it for like, potential homebrew, I think could be interesting on Vita. But just, you know, stock, I can't recommend the Vita very much. Most of the games are on other consoles, but the Vita still gave us Gravity Rush. It still gave us, like, a lot of really good experiences. So even if I don't personally think the Vita was a good system, I respect a lot of the games on the Vita. And I wish the Vita had done better from the standpoint of competition, because Nintendo kind of took over the handheld scene until the Switch made everyone realize, oh wait, we could just make like handheld PCs that are like Switch format. And then like, yeah, Xbox is also kind of in a case of like, you know, there are some exclusives on Xbox that really blew people away at the time, and it's like, I just kind of want to see everyone doing well in this industry. Major companies, indies. I just want to see I want to see gaming thrive, but it doesn't. Events like this make me feel like gaming is just in a bubble where everyone's just chasing after like trends of like, you know, horror, sci-fi, FPS kind of energy. You know, like when we got the Callisto Protocol and Dead Space like a couple months apart. It's like everyone's like going after this aesthetic now. I'm trying to think of another example, but I can't really get anything. That's why Battletro being nominated was such a huge deal, because Battletro is a game that's like unlike anything else that exists at the time, and has basically created a genre. And it being nominated for Game of the Year was a huge deal. It's an indie, and like very un-indie, or like like, it doesn't really line up with the current trends of the gaming industry, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's my little soapbox rant on gaming. Again, some argue like, oh, Capcom and Nintendo, or like this company or that company, but it's like, they have their screw-ups too. You know, Capcom just was like, oh, we want to use AI to generate ideas for concepts, and it's like, why can't you just have a human just throw ideas at a dartboard, and eventually you'll come up with something like amazing? But if you just have like AI generate ideas, that just feels bad to me. And like, you know, Nintendo has a lot of issues of their own. Too many to say, probably, in this discussion. But it is a case of like, no company is great because they're all just, ultimately trying to make money at the end of the day. But it does feel like the industry is driving people like me out, and that's not a good feeling. There's also the issue of being priced out of this genre, of this hobby, which is not a good feeling either, with games being $70. I'm not looking forward to that with Switch era, Switch 2 era especially. Because PS5 games will eventually go on sale, Switch games might not. And if a Switch game goes on sale, like, it's usually to $40 now, which means they'll probably go down to like $50 at best, unless you buy like used. Then the used market is having issues with like GameStop just being really shady. Yeah, that's a whole other topic potentially, but thank you for indulging this little like rant, I guess, about modern video games. There's just something kind of like upsetting over this hobby. And again, like, I'm doing a series on the games I grew up with for a reason, to try to like show, oh, these are the games that kind of made me who I am now, and also influenced what I'm into, and like who I am as a person to some level. So that kind of juxtaposes against like something like this that's like, wow, kind of just shows like modern gaming doesn't have a whole lot to offer to me. Modern AAA, again, I need to stress AAA, because there are plenty of indie games that are knocking it out of the park right now. Like, last year alone you had like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, I still need to play that. Animal Well, still need to play that. Little Kitty Big City. I'm blanking, but the point is there are a lot of indie games out there that are doing really novel or incredible things with this medium. Oh, Croak County or Country, I forgot which it is. I think that was last year. It might have been late 23, but I think it was 2024. If you go back farther, there's like Signalis, there's Mouthwashing. Again, Mouthwashing is extremely not for me, but I recognize it is a very like influential and important game, even if I cannot handle that kind of like psychological horror experience. So yeah, that is my overall take on it. Is as time goes on, I think I'm going to be more like leaning towards indie games, because they're kind of offering more novel and like more ideas that kind of resonate with me personally. Again, not to say that there is nothing of merit in like AAA gaming either, because there's a lot of AAA games that are very good too still. Occasionally you just have something really great. However, it does feel like you have to wade through a lot more bullshit in terms of the corporate nature of everything. It's like you have your From Softwares, for example, and again, they're not even perfect. If I had to make a guess, I'm sure there's something up with them, but I also don't know Souls games enough to really judge that. Yeah, I'll try to get into the network test probably for Sonic. It looks like it's a closed test, so it's like a sign-up thing. So I guess I should keep an eye on that, and then if I get in, I might try to stream it if that's allowed, because sometimes network tests do not let you stream games, which is very infuriating to me. When they like NDA a network test. Spoilers, everyone talks about them anyway, just secretly, or not secretly. So you can find the information if you look hard enough. Like, there was that Nintendo closed network test. Like, it's not a secret, even though it was embargoed to hell and back. people talked about it anyway. Yeah, I feel like I just kind of rambled all over the place here. But it was kind of nice getting to talk a little bit about this hobby I'm really invested in. Again, I meant this to be an hour-long stream, and it ended up being an hour and a half, so a little bit above where I thought it would be. But I should wrap up soon. I'm very tired, actually, so I'm gonna go rest by might hang out with friends or something, or work on video editing, because I'm trying to cut down VODs for, like, highlights. But with that being said, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day and a good weekend, because my next stream will probably be Monday. Likely we'll be trying something not Mario, just to mix it up a little bit. Again, I have a couple ideas in mind for, like, game clearing. One game I want to do is Kitsune Tales, just because it's meatycore as hell, which I'll elaborate on later if you do not know about that game. But I also kind of had something else in mind, and I'm debating if I should do it or not. Oh yeah, big omissions. That's another thing. Really quick. There are a couple of things I'm surprised weren't there. The biggest one is Tekken, actually. I feel like this would have been a decent opportunity to tease Season 2 of Tekken 8. So I'm actually surprised, because there was already an Anna teaser a while back. So I was kind of expecting that here, because we're past a year of Tekken 8's release, so I was kind of expecting a Season 2 announcement. Other than that, I can't really think of much. Like, you know, I wasn't expecting Street Fighter. It would be a little bit early for Elena, since we just got Mai, and, like, we already know Venom for Strive is coming out in late March, so I'm expecting something early March, and then maybe the official reveal at AWT next month, which is, like, I want to say it's like the 22nd and 23rd, like that area, and then, like, a Venom trailer for, like, you know, later that week kind of a thing, but then he drops a few days later. Talking about Strive, I don't think I actually stressed that very well now I'm thinking about it. With Strive, I'm really curious because they had to delay so much because of how poorly that last patch went. They had to do an emergency patch just to address some of the community concerns. So my question is, what the hell happens to the season as a whole? Because, like, Unica is feeling like a tie into the anime. So I figured she would probably be aiming for April, with Venom in, like, February. But, like, since everything is off kilter, will the entire, like, season be off, like, schedule, basically? I mean, they still have plenty of time to get everything done before EVO for Season 5. If there is they did a poll, so I'm assuming there's a Season 5. I mean, my guess is Jam. Jam and Robokai, because they've consistently been highly requested. Beyond that, I don't know. But, we have to get Guilty Gear in at least once. It seems like a tradition for these streams. I talk about Guilty Gear at least a little bit every stream. Now, wait, I did talk about Xenoblade earlier, didn't I? I think I did, at least, so we're 2 for 2. Yeah, Tides of Annihilation, I think, unironically, is the game I'm most excited for, because that looked a little bit more character action-y to me. And just, like, the setting of it and the protagonist design, that looked really cool. But that's gonna be a ways out, I think. A lot of these, like, Chinese and Korean developed games tend to be, one, announced really early, and two, take a very long time because they're made by smaller teams. But I am hoping the game comes out in good shape in, like, a couple of years. Probably, like, 2 or 3 years, if I had to guess. Yeah, that, Sonic, and then, like, that was kind of it for me. And then like a couple of the other indies, like the one where it's like, oh, you're like shooting stuff and that's like rebuilding the world. That one was kind of neat. Yeah, that is kind of my overall take on it. That was a pretty lackluster one, and again, didn't really like win me over on like, yeah, the PlayStation 5 is great. It's like, no, it's still kind of just in the same boat as before, where it's like, wow, I'm just kind of using this for Zenless. I'm just using this for Star Rail dailies, and I'm using my Xbox mostly for Fortnite, though I'm planning to use a Game Pass code I've had sitting around for like a while to finally play indie. I might try Ninja Gaiden while I'm at it. NG2, the remake they just did. The main reason is like data caps. Like I try not to download too much all at once because of like not wanting to run into a monthly data cap. So like if I have enough data by the end of February, and it is a short month, so that was my thinking at least, I might try to finally play Great Circle. Probably not on stream, just because that would make it very slow. But I definitely am looking forward to eventually playing that, but again, it is a case of like, oh yeah, Days Gone. I totally forgot that even happened. It had been rumored for a while. I just don't care about Days Gone. I'm not into like that aesthetic. And I remember hearing it launched in a pretty bad state, which just kind of shot it immediately to like obscurity. That was Sony Bend, so fun story. There was a company that made Bubsy 3D. Also Siphon Filter, if you want to actually name a good game that Bend did. So yeah, I think I've rambled enough about this, like, PlayStation State of Play. I talked way more than I thought I would, given how I didn't vibe with almost anything in it. But yeah, next stream will probably be Monday. Again, maybe starting Kitsune Tales, maybe something else, depending on if another plan is ready. But I hope everyone has a good rest of their day/week. Thank you all for watching, as always, and for the support. It does mean a lot to me, getting to do this. But yeah, I think I will just end things there for now. And we will resume, hopefully, streaming regularly on this day. If I can actually keep this like sleep schedule going, I might try to start streaming at 3 p.m. and just make that the standard and try to go 3 to 7 to get like 4-hour streams. I think that'd be better for my productivity. Yeah, take care everybody, good night, and all that. I'm very bad at outros.